You're watching DDDNN with your host, Todd Todson.
Good evening, I'm Todd Todson, and here are our top stories for the week. Scientists have discovered that an immunized llama has been able to develop antibodies that neutralize COVID-19, MERS, SARS, and many other infections, providing researchers a crucial step towards human application. Seems like Carl is finally making up for all those deaths he caused 10 years ago. Florists around the country struggled to fill Mother's Day orders this year because of a lack of overall supply. While most moms that did get flowers reported that they were quite thankful, some moms were heard saying, "Great, another thing for me to take care of." 3 doctors in Russia have fallen out of windows, with a common theme of them having criticized the amount of available medical resources at some point before their accidental falls. Russian officials have stated that it is likely related to the long working hours, making them extremely tired, and that they shouldn't have been so close to those slippery windowsills if they wanted to avoid falling. Speaking of Russia, they've begun calling any Ukrainian citizen living in Crimea foreigners, and have started telling them that they have to either sell their land or they will lose it. It's nice to have examples of ethnic cleansing so readily available. Perhaps the UN should send them a strongly worded letter. Also in Ukraine, recently a high-level police officer sparked controversy when asking the city of Crimea to provide them with a list of all of its Jewish residents, and the world collectively said, "We've seen this somewhere before." In what some have called the worst idea since eating bats, JetBlue, a New York-based airline company, had planned low flyovers with 3 of their passenger jets around New York City this past Thursday, as a salute to frontline responders. Some of you may remember something about planes flying low around that city around 19 years ago. Nearly 20,000 teens in Georgia have received their driver's license without having to conduct a driver's test. When we asked officials in Georgia if they were concerned about the possibility of increased accidents and the subsequent fallout, they said, "Nah, screw it." When an inmate in a Chicago jail heard that a fellow prisoner was being released, he put on a protective mask, told the guards he was supposed to be released today, and subsequently walked out. When asked about the incident, jail officials said they weren't sure how it happened, but it definitely wasn't, quote, because the guard thought the 2 inmates looked the same.
Hello. I am definitely not Bernie Sanders. However, I am once again asking for your support. If you enjoy these videos, please consider liking, sharing, and subscribing. And together, we can build a better future. Thank you, and now, back to your regularly scheduled program.
And our last story of the night. The United States Spaceforce has released its first recruitment video, with part of its slogan being, "Imagine what would be imagined," immediately catching the attention of hundreds of men with dreams of building their own girlfriends. This has been the Ding Dong Ditch News Network. I've been your host, Todd Dodson. Thank you for tuning in. And remember, we don't make the news, we just make fun of it. Thank you, and good night. This is a satirical news segment. All comments were completely made up. Remember, just because the news said it, it doesn't mean it's true.